All right, let's dive into a true classic today, Saratchandra Chattopadhyay's 1914 novella, Parineeta. This is such a powerful story about a love that literally blossoms across rooftops, only to find itself up against the cold, hard walls of class, family, and, you guessed it, money. And really, the whole story hangs on this one single question. Can something that starts as a simple childhood game actually turn into a real, binding marriage? Because the answer to that question is going to change our characters' lives forever. So, picture this. We're in Kolkata back in the early 20th century. This is a time of major change, a place where the old, deeply conservative traditions of Bengali society are kind of smashing right up against all these new pressures of a modernizing world. And that whole clash, you can see it perfectly in the two families at the center of this story. They're next-door neighbors, but wow, they are worlds apart. On one side, you've got the Roys. They're all about new money and power. And right next door, you have Gurucharan's family just trying to get by, clinging to their honor while drowning in debt. It's this huge gap that our lovers are going to have to try and cross. Okay, so let's meet the main players here. First, there's Lolita. She's our heroine, an orphan with this incredibly strong moral compass. Then we have Shekhar, her wealthy neighbor who's been her mentor forever. He's a good guy, but he's torn between his feelings for her and, honestly, his own indecisiveness. Her uncle, Gurucharan, is a man who's just being crushed by the system. And Shekhar's father, Nabin Roy? Well, he's the guy enforcing that system, a ruthless man who believes money is everything. Now, the thing about Lolita and Shekhar is this isn't some sudden whirlwind romance. Nope, it's this deep, complicated bond that's been built over years. The terrace between their houses, it's like a bridge, you know? It's their private world where their connection gets to grow, far away from everybody else's judgment. I mean, they're so comfortable with each other that Lolita just goes and takes money from Shaker's cupboard whenever her family needs it. It's this casual thing that shows how much she trusts him, but it also kind of shines a light on how much her family depends on his. And she asks, so innocently, how they'll ever pay it all back. And Shekhar's answer here is, well, it's everything. He basically tells her that just by being there, by caring for him, she's already repaying him. He's saying her affection is worth more than any amount of money. It's this huge confession of his feelings that just completely flies over her innocent head. This really tells you everything you need to know about their dynamic, right? Shekhar isn't just a friend. He's her guide, her authority figure. It really shows you how things worked back then, this unspoken rule that a young woman's life was always guided by a man. For Lolita, what he says goes. But of course, this little bubble they've built for themselves, it was never gonna last. The real world, with all its pressures about money and marriage, starts to creep in, and it creates this huge mess of misunderstandings that threatens to just pull them apart. See, for Shekhar's dad, Nabin Roy, marriage isn't about love. Not even a little bit. It's a business deal, plain and simple. He's on the hunt for a bride who comes with a massive dowry, and that price tag alone means poor orphan Lolita is completely out of the running. It just goes to show you, money, not love, was the name of the game. And just to make things more complicated, a new guy shows up on the scene, Girin. He's rich, he's educated, but he's also generous and kind, basically the opposite of Shekhar's dad. He really admires Lolita and, well, you can see where this is going. We've got ourselves a classic love triangle, and Girin's straightforward kindness really highlights just how indecisive Shekhar is being. So Girin does something pretty incredible. He offers to pay off her family's entire mortgage and cover her dowry. No strings attached. It's an act of pure kindness. But Shekhar? He doesn't see a kind act. He's so consumed by jealousy that he sees a rival making a move, and he thinks he's about to lose Lolita for good. So all this pressure, this jealousy, this money talk, it all comes to a head in what is seriously the most important scene in the entire story. A moment that starts as a kid's game, but becomes something so much more real. Okay, so to really get what happens next, you have to understand this one concept. In the culture of the story, exchanging flower garlands isn't just a symbol for marriage. It's what's called a performative act. That means the action is the thing. For Lolita, this gesture is as real and as binding as any big ceremony. So here's how it goes down. They're playing, having a pretend wedding for some dolls, and Lolita playfully puts a garland around Shekhar's neck.
But he knows exactly what this moment means. He gets serious. He takes the garland and places it on her. He completes the ritual. And right then, you hear conch shells being blown for the doll's wedding. And in that 1 second, everything, absolutely everything, changes.
And then Shekhar says it. He basically puts it in black and white. What just happened was inevitable, and neither of them can pretend it didn't. It wasn't a game. It was a promise. In that moment, they sealed a secret marriage, one that's totally unbreakable in their hearts. Okay, so they've made this secret vow. It's beautiful, it's profound, but it exists in their own little world. And that world is about to collide with reality. Hard. Their private promise is immediately going to be tested by society and family. Remember Lolita's uncle, Gurucharan? The guy who's just drowning in debt from all the dowry pressure? Well, he does something absolutely radical. He converts to Brahmoism, which was a reformist movement. For him, it's a desperate move to escape the financial ruin that his own conservative community was forcing on him. It's both a sacrifice and a rebellion. And Shekhar's father, Nabin Roy? Oh, he just explodes. For a staunch conservative man like him, this isn't about someone trying to survive. This is betrayal, a betrayal of religion, of community, everything. He cuts them off, completely and brutally, showing zero tolerance. And then he builds a wall, a real physical wall between their two houses. That social and economic divide is now a concrete barrier you can actually see. The bridge between their worlds, that terrace, it's gone. So with that wall up, the whole conflict of the story just shifts. It goes from being out there between the families to being right inside Shekhar's head. He is completely trapped between the secret promise he made and the impossible reality he's now facing. I mean, just think about what's pulling him in every direction. He's got his secret vow to Lolita. He's terrified of his father. There's the temptation of a huge dowry from another marriage. There's family honor. And maybe the biggest thing of all is Lolita's absolute unwavering belief that she is his wife. No wonder the guy's paralyzed. And this is where his whole mindset just flips. It's a terrifying moment of clarity for him. His problem is no longer how do I win Lolita? It's the sudden horrifying realization of, oh my God, what if I have to lose her? He finally gets how much he needs her, but he can't see a single way forward for them in a world that would never, ever accept their marriage. Which really just leaves us with one last big question. When a love that's born from innocence and sealed with a sacred vow goes up against the unyielding walls of tradition, honor, and cold, hard cash, who ends up paying the ultimate price? The one who hesitates or the one who believes?